Good afternoon, or say good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Gates 101. Welcome to my BitChute YouTube simulcast together. Shout out to Like Minds soldiers. We've been around since 2011, not 2012. I've been a member since 2019, as far as I'm concerned, and I support them whenever I can. So, shout out to them. Now, we're learning about Michael Savage, right? The title states that, you know, why are we selfish, or quote unquote we? Depends on who is we he's talking to. And I know I should have mentioned about this many years ago. Not years, I would say about 3 years now since Michael Savage started his podcast to the public back about 2 years ago, if not a year and a half ago now. He was not ousted, but he was like played out by the media of radio, and these companies found a way to exclude him from the radio platform. Now he's on podcasting, things of that matter. And during his last months, if not years, of his radio show, he mentioned that we younger adults are too selfish, or we're selfish altogether because we don't have children, or we can't get children, or we can't have some form of family of our own, and things that matter. And he's right to some extent, but he's wrong in other places as well. Remember, Michael Savage, if you're watching this or hear my voice, I'm Dr. Games, also called Doctor of Ghetto, for how many years on YouTube. My first name was Charles, so you know who you are talking to, in a sense. I'm not trying to say I'm better than you, or I have better status than you, nothing like that, because you are way better at that than I am for the time being. So, and I respect you, Michael Savage, since as early as 2008. I agree with you about the autism thing that the news put out against you back in 2008 on ABC 7 News, or Good Morning America. That's a show on ABC. So, Michael Savage, why are you saying this to me as a younger adult? You know that there's other reasons why I don't have a family of my own. I have children of my own. You should know that by now. There's other reasons behind the matter. And I'll be not trying to generalize back in the day. I know that sounds like 3 years ago. It's like I should have mentioned that 3 years ago, 2 years ago even. But I wasn't registering it properly. Like, what is he talking about? And I'm like, okay, this Michael Savage I kind of looked up to. My group at one point called Paints Court, we used to look up to Michael Savage. Now some of the members, or at least the ones I'm interacting with, are not interested in listening to Michael Savage anymore at all. So it's like, you know, who to really look up to, who to really say they have the right word to say, you know. But as so he said, all men are, will eventually fall. All men will eventually pass on, and all men eventually lose their luster and trustworthiness to the people. And I'm like, that don't make any sense though, because, like, you know, this is what he's saying over 2 years ago. So now I sort of have an understanding about the matter. I'm in my 30s. I'm 34 right now. And Michael Savage, if you're listening to this, watch this again, look, I can't force a woman to like me. And I had a girlfriend before. So it's not like I never had actual relations with a girl, or with people in general speaking. Like, the way you said it, Michael Savage, was like so hypocritical, knowing that you personally yourself, you don't mention your wife on your podcast, your radio at all, for the last 25 years. I'm not saying to put your business out there, your personal business, or your personal affairs out there. But usually, if you say you're married, you're supposed to mention it about your wife. Sometimes, like, oh, my wife did this and my wife did that and and you know, that type of stuff. Like, it'll make me feel more encouraging to get a wife and a family of my own. But at this rate, the way the economy has been for the last 12 years now, at least 10, and just in 2008, 2009 economic crisis, you see this trend where it's like most guys, like me and younger, we cannot afford to marry. And the ones that are 25 and under don't give a damn about marriage. Because they care about themselves, or they care about, you know, their passions, their wants and desires. They want to become a very well-mentioned person on social media or of that sort. Michael Savage, I'm not trying to say I hate you. I'm not trying to say I don't dislike your work or anything like that. I have your book, Stop the Coming Civil War, right here somewhere over here. And I read it here and there sometimes. You're right about this. We have to stop the upcoming civil war. when, if and when that's going to happen, it's going to happen eventually, or or it could be a world war. Between China, Russia, and Russia doing Ukraine now, Putin's trying to overabundanize himself, you want to call it like that, towards the Balkans, um, fiasco grudge for 1,000 years now. So, in that, it's because Ukraine is considered to be part of the western part of Russia in a sense. In a sense, because the Ukraine has been around since when? After post World War II, officially. So, there's history between Putin's KGB career and his love for his mother Russia country, Soviet Russia, of course, back then, 30 years ago, and Ukraine. So that's another story of its own. But to Michael Savage getting out there, I agree. I appreciate your work. I love what you've been doing for the last several decades. I wish I could buy all your books, but after a while, I don't have the space for them, so I have to get digitally. So if you have digital books, I'll buy those instead one day if I ever get big extra money. But Michael Savage, don't overassume things. Please don't do that, because that's what I hate about people. People assume that I'm some sort of big guy who's dangerous. Yes, I get that a lot here in my neighborhood, or at least my neighbor or a neighbor's friend. This is years ago. This was when I was like 24, 23 years old. I posted, a letter to my neighbor, whatever. I was like, "Hey, come over. Let's have some videos, whatever." And they're like, "Oh, you can't do that." And they're like, "Oh, you're dangerous." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I make videos. That's all I do. This is just big video making. This is what I hate about my neighbors. Not neighbors, but the overall atmosphere that I live in." And it's ridiculous to the point where it's like everyone assumes everyone's intentions, or everyone assumes everyone's problems, or whatever. I wish I could go back in time and change things around, but you can't. And to sound like I said, you can't change that either. You can't change the way the weddings and the marriages system, all the divorces, stuff like that is fucked up. It is. Now, do I want to get married personally myself? Maybe, if I find the right one. But usually, I'm not the type of guy to be hanging around. No offense to any females out there in my area or my vicinity, or just in general speaking. I don't want to be around people who want to have sex with cheeseburgers. And that happened on the Maury show back 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago. So that's not entirely, of course, but that's the mindset at one point this neighborhood was. 15 years ago, it was all about sex on the bus and sex in the road. Like Michael Savage says, if it feels good, do it in the road, But that's what's going on 15 years ago. That's why I was upset about many things going on with certain politicians for how many years now, with the 2018 economic crisis and so on and so forth. But, excuse me. But I don't know, guys. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I the type of person to say to you that we should talk about these problems directly to other people who are problematic with me? I don't get it. I really just don't. I mean, I'm just a guy on the internet expressing my views and opinions, advocating for certain things at one point, and still do to this day to some other aspects. And I just don't like the fact that someone like Michael Savage, of all people, you figure he would be on my side, or at least the side of. I understand we have different backgrounds. He was an immigrant. I'm a natural born citizen and things about it. But he went to Jamaica High School in my town right here in Jamaica, Queens. I admit, now you know where I live. So Jamaica High School is like yay far from here, and he went to the rifle school. There was a rifle team in that Jamaica High School. This is back in the 1950s and the 1960s, prior to the Black Panthers and all. So we have a right to bear arms. We have a right to do this and that and other thing. We have a right to associate with, and that's what's going on right now, Mr. Savage, is that we have a right to associate. I wish I could make people like me and be the next fucking celebrity, whatever that is, like Charles. That's not going to happen either anytime soon or perhaps never. I have too much on my plate right now when it comes down to earning my degree first, and doing other things. And I know I'm not going to be like Britney Spears popular or whoever. I'm going to be just some guy that hits that still most likely the next couple of decades from now. So it is what it is, right? I will definitely come to that conclusion and to that fate as well. But guys, don't let life beat you down. Don't let life take you by the horns as much. Like you take it by the horns, and eventually you will succeed. And it doesn't. And that success has to be like can be as low as like completing a homework assignment, or as big as it completing and become the next, I don't know, governor of New York or some shit like that, or even an assemblyman where I live. Um, no, my assemblyman is all right, stuff like that. State senator. I don't hear much about the corruption with those guys in my state, that is, and also in my district. So, all right, guys, please thumbs up, subscribe and share if you want to donate to our Patreon, Cash App, um, PayPal, you name it. It's down below in the description box. Thank you, Like Minds, for helping me out, and vice versa. And I've been looking around, finding other ways to make money, make funding for our group. If you can donate to them, send me a message. Don't if you donate to me on my account, that means it's donated to me on my account. But if you want to donate to Like Minded Soldiers, you message me first, and only then I can give you the name, the Cash App name, because it's private. It's like a as is approach right now. So self proprietorship. All right, guys, see you around. Bye.